Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. And welcome to the Willa Kim Costume Design Scholarship 2026 information session. My name is Big Raksak Gongseng. I am TCG's lead of grant making and global programs. My pronouns are she and they. I am a brown-skinned Thai immigrant with black hair swept to one side, wearing a dark red jumpsuit, sitting near my blue curtain in front of a white wall. So before we get started, let me put our slide back up. So give us a minute. I just want to take a moment to offer our respects to the many lands on which we gather and to honor the traditional stewards of these lands. If you have any land acknowledgement practices that you do either with your organization or individually, we invite you to share them in the chat now on Zoom. While land acknowledgement is a positive first step, it is also important to go beyond that. Perhaps by asking yourself, how are you using your privilege to support Indigenous people and the communities? And how are you giving back to the land that you are on? So TCG administers the Willa Kim Costume Design Scholarship Program with support from the Estate of Willa Kim. We will try to get to as many questions today, but please know that at any time you can email us at rgongseng@tcg.org. I will drop that in the chat in a second, and we will get back to you. Today's call is designed to provide you with an overview of the Willa Kim Costume Design Scholarship Program and to help you prepare your application. We understand that many of you may be applying for a TCG program for the first time, and we will do our best to demystify and clarify the process. We are working to make applying for this program as streamlined as possible with a quick turnaround. So today's call will last about 30 to 45 minutes and will be recorded, as you can see now, for later viewing on TCG's website and on YouTube. We will pause from time to time to respond to any questions you have. We invite you to put it on Zoom chat. We will also make space for a Q&A at the end of this session as well. So before we start, you may not know about TCG's work, and we are going to start by talking about TCG's mission and values as it relates to this program. So you may not be very familiar with TCG, and to give you some background about us, in 2021, TCG celebrated our 60th anniversary, so 60 years. And after a year-long strategic planning process, we crafted a reframed mission that is to lead for a just and thriving theater ecology. With that, we have a commitment to centering Black, Indigenous, and people of color in our programs, services, and partnerships. We are using the term BIPOC for solidarity purposes, representing a multiplicity of racial, ethnic, and cultural groups. We acknowledge that the term BIPOC is imperfect, not universally embraced by many who identify as people of color and or people of the global majority. And we also acknowledge that language is in a constant state of reimagination and redefinition. For reference, Black, Indigenous, and people of color represent over 80% of the global population. It is possible that during this program, the language may shift again. So after 2021, in July 2024, TCG transitioned to a 3-leader model with 3 co-executive directors, with Amelia Cachapero as co-executive director of National and Global Programming, Letitia Allison as co-executive director of National Engagement, and Alicia Tonsik as co-executive director of Business Development. TCG is a national organization with our main office in New York City, although we have hubs across the US. We have American Theater Magazine Chicago Bureau in Chicago, of course, and other TCG staff in different cities, including Atlanta, DC area, West Coast, and globally. I am calling in from Thailand right now. So with that, we reach over 1 million students, audience members, and theater professionals annually through our programs and services. You can read more about membership benefits and services on our website under the membership tab. On our website, I will drop the membership tab in the chat later. So about what we do, TCG serves the US theater field through responsive programming that provides our constituents with the resources to respond to a rapidly changing world, including roundtables, town hall conversations, and community meeting and work groups. We also advance theater nationally and globally through tools for theater makers, including informational webinars like this one, resource materials, and advocacy alert. An example of our work in this area is we joined 3 other arts organizations in March earlier this year, March 2025, as a co-plaintiff to challenge the National Endowments for the Arts new requirement around gender ideology, which was under Executive Order 14168. And recently in December last month, a federal court ruled in our favor and struck down the NEA's grant application review process, which violates the First Amendment. TCG will continue to fight for freedom of expression and equity, and our advocacy efforts must take a major focus of our work and resources. On the global side, TCG is also the US Center of the International Theater Institute, or ITI, which is founded by UNESCO, a global network of centers in more than 70 countries around the world. That's just one of the things that we do. So we also do networking and knowledge building for theater artists and leaders to advance their careers, institutions, and commitment to equitable practices. As part of our Thrive program, uplifting and supporting theaters of color, we have just offered online learning labs this month. And we have our upcoming fall forum on governance in the coming weeks, which is on November 7th to November 9th in person in New York City. And since the pandemic, we've been hosting regularly scheduled online calls with theater leaders. And of course, we host a national conference every 2 years where theater makers from across the country and worldwide actually gather. The next one will be in summer of 2026 next year. We will make an official announcement very soon. Another thing that we do is our research and survey. We gather and analyze data about the fiscal health of the field, governance, and the state of theater workers. These reports are essential resources for the theater field, as well as other related sectors and the press. So you are hopefully already familiar with our publications wing. You may have heard of American Theater Magazine that is in print quarterly with a new play in every issue and articles released daily and weekly online. American Theater Magazine is the only magazine in print in circulation that is dedicated to theater in the US. We are the largest not-for-profit publisher of dramatic books and scripts as well. Once we bring a writer on board, we promise to publish the full body of their work and also to keep their books in print in perpetuity. We don't pick and choose when a writer becomes famous and we work with them only. No, we publish the full body of their work. And that's the commitment that we have to our authors. And our authors have been honored with 22 Pulitzer Prizes, as well as Tony Awards, the Nobel Prize for Literature, plus countless Obies, Drama Desk Awards, and other national and international prizes. They include Brandon Jacob Jenkins, the 2025 Tony winner and Pulitzer, Michael R. Jackson, Heidi Schreck, Jeremy O. Harris, Tony Kushner, and many more. Another thing that we do, which is relating to why we are here together today, we do grant making and professional development to support theaters and individuals. So in addition to this Willa Kim Scholarship Program, we have Fox Foundation Resident Actor Fellowships. We do have funds for the Dolls, Rising Leaders Program, and Thrive Program. So all this information also lives on our website. So now, talking about the Willa Kim Scholarship Program. So this program has a goal of bolstering the recipient's ability to communicate their artistic vision effectively through technical skills in hand drawing and painting. That's the key, hand drawing and painting. Recipients will receive up to $7,500 each to be used towards tuition, registration fees, supplies, and or travel expenses over a year period between June 1st of next year, 2026, to May 31st, 2027. International study is allowable, but the scholarship will only cover tuition, registration fees, supplies, and or travel expenses to participate in extracurricular training in hand drawing or painting only. Again, the keyword is extracurricular or non-credit, so it cannot be applied to your home institution. And the recipient scholarship activities may take place while they're on break from their university or college or training program. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to jot it down, and then we will address that once we have a Q&A session. So with the eligibility, this program is created for students who are enrolled and in good standing at a college, university, or professional training program at the beginning of the scholarship period on June 1st, 2026. So that means on June 1st, 2026, you have to be a student still. You cannot be already graduated. An applicant enrolled in a related program such as fashion design are welcome as long as they are able to demonstrate commitment to working as a costume designer. Applicants must be able to receive taxable income in the US. And this program defines theater in the broadest terms. That includes dramatic theater, music theater, physical theater, and object theater, and so on. Artists working in multidisciplinary ways are eligible, but they must demonstrate a strong theatrical through line in their costume design work. So for the selection, this program uses a peer panel process. We will have an independent panel of theater leaders who are working professionals and knowledgeable about the field of theater. Applications will be reviewed according to the following criteria, as you can see on the screen, which will vary at different stages of the selection process and must demonstrate, the applicants must demonstrate artistry, creativity, and skills, evidence of commitment, ability, and a clear plan to improve the applicant's skills as a costume designer, degree to which the scholarship can contribute to the applicant's artistic growth, appropriateness of the proposed budget and scholarship activities, including travel if requested, potential for future impact as a professional costume designer. And last but not least, commitment to a career in the not-for-profit professional theater field in the US. And there will be finalist interviews. A quick note on selection: don't get caught up in grand speak or writing what you think we want to hear, right? Because being in a program and going through a lot of selection process year after year, you would see that, and it doesn't help the application. Try to let your personal voice come through. The panelists will likely not know you or your work, so it is very important for you to have a clear sense. Important for them, the panelists, to have a clear sense of you as a costume designer and your work. So don't predict what we want to hear. Just use your personal voice. All right. I'm actually going to pause here for a second before I proceed with the slide to check if there's any questions in the chat. And also, I would like to welcome my colleague Rachel here as well. Rachel, you want to say hi to the group?
Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Technical difficulties, but happy to help in any way I can.
No worries. Thank you for dropping the membership and our website in the chat as well, Rachel. So I see there's one question. What if you are a grad student applying to the scholarship, but you are also registered in a college professional training program? I would say as long as you are in an educational program, like in a university, if you are still a grad student on June 1st this year, you are eligible. So I don't think it's going to be a problem. Unless I misunderstand your question, because it seems like I'm not sure about the college professional training piece, but since you are a grad student, if you are a grad student on June 1st this year anyway, you will be eligible. But feel free to clarify that question. If I didn't answer your question, feel free to clarify further in the chat. All right, so while we wait for that, I'm just gonna move on, but then we will have another Q&A session at the end. So timeline, the application deadline is firm. Deadline for the application recommendations and academic advisor support are on the same date, which is Friday, November 21st, 2025 at 10:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please note the time zone, but basically the end of the day for all time zones. Applicants will be notified by Monday, December 22nd, before we break off for the holidays. And the earliest start date of the scholarship activities is June 1st next year. And the latest end date of the scholarship activities will be May 31st, 2027. The full timeline also is available on our website. I'm sure you saw it because you have registered for this info session. So I assume that you have seen the full timeline. So the information lives there. And so now talking about the application itself. To apply, you will need to submit these 4 items. First, applicant, recommenders, and academic advisor information. We ask for basic info such as names, pronouns, address, contact info, and some demographics info. At this point, we are not requiring recommender to submit recommendations yet. We just want information about the recommenders from you so that if you advance to the next stage, we can reach out to the recommenders directly. And the same goes with academic advisor. That's number 1. Number 2 is resume or CV or bio. Applicants must upload a resume or CV or bio of no more than 2 pages via the TCG application portal. Number 3 is 1 narrative question. So we, in the application form, you would see we ask you to describe in detail your creative process from inspiration through completion on a recent production you have designed. Please give us a clear sense of your approach to the production and how you worked or communicated with the director and other collaborators. Examples of artwork from this production must be included in your portfolio. And we recognize that everyone expresses themselves differently, right? So applicants are welcome to submit their responses to the narrative question in the following formats. So you can either submit as an audio or a video file of no more than 1 minute and 45 seconds, or you can submit it as a text submission of 300 words. And last but not least, the portfolio. Portfolio materials must be submitted via the application portal as well. Hard copies will not be accepted. Applicants must provide materials from at least 2, but no more than 4 projects that best represents their work. And again, example of the artwork from the narrative question must be included in your portfolio. One of the 2 required projects must be the one from the narrative question. And project number 3 and 4 are not required, right? But they may include examples of your artistic work outside of costume design as well. Portfolio materials must also include examples of your hand drawing and or painting work for costume design. This is important. They must include hand drawing and or painting samples. It is strongly suggested that portfolio materials express the creative process from inspiration through finished product. If you research or source material is included, they should be shown alongside the completed design to illustrate how the process informs the result. Applicants are also strongly encouraged to include work that will fully represent their artistic practices, including 2- and 3-dimensional work in any medium. For example, drawing, painting, figure drawing, illustration, embroidery, sculpture, pottery, photography, and whatnot. Applicants may submit materials from a project that has not yet been produced. However, at least one project in your portfolio must have been fully realized. It must have happened in real life. And you should arrange your materials in order in which you want the panelists to view. And each costume design example should be clearly labeled with the textile description, characters, production and producer, which may be a theater or organization or your school, your educational institutions. All right, I'm going to pause again and check on question in the chat. I did answer the question, yay, thank you. Another question, if you are in your final year of your BA and will be registered still during the window, and am I still eligible as a US citizen studying full-time in the UK? So studying abroad in the UK is not a problem, so that's good. The thing about being in good standing and currently enrolled, right? First, if you are still on June 1st, if you are still registered, that's great. This program would benefit, you would benefit from having an academic advisor throughout your scholarship period as well, because at the end of your scholarship activity, we would have a meeting with you and your advisor, right? So if during the period of your scholarship activity, you no longer have advisor to advise you on your growth trajectory, right? That might not work. But again, I think if you can lay out in details for me, like the timeline, I can help determine. I don't want to make a call like right now, like, oh, you're not eligible, right? I want to see sets of dates and things that would help me guide you better whether or not you will be eligible. All right. So feel free to share that with me either in this call or later on email. I'll share you my email as well. For now, I'm gonna keep moving. So TCG acknowledges that there may be barriers for some applicants. Applications are accepted online in English. However, alternatives are possible. So program staff will help applicants navigate challenges related to language and or technology. To request accommodation or assistance in applying, please contact me, Raksak Kongseng, at rkongseng@tcg.org, preferably at least 3 weeks before the application deadline. And after submitting your application, you should receive a confirmation email within an hour. If you don't receive it, please check your spam folder in case it was delivered there. If you still don't receive it, your application may not have gone through. So you can contact me to verify, but also that leads me to the next note, which is we strongly recommend drafting your application in a separate location where you can save it to avoid losing your progress if the application portal doesn't automatically save your responses. For your convenience, we have provided a list of application questions. It's on the website, but please note that that list is not the application form itself. It is designed just to help you prepare for the applications without having to switch between pages. And thank you, Rachel, for dropping my email in there. And yes, please reach out for more detail in email. So if you advance to the next round, which we hope you all do, you will be asked to submit 3 more items. The first one is 6 additional narrative questions. You must submit narrative responses, each with a word limit varying from 200 to 300 words. Again, you may choose to submit your responses in different formats like audio, video, or text, and you can change from question to question. Like question 1, you may want to do audio, question 2, you want to do text, which is fine. I'm not going to read them out loud here, like all of these 6 questions, but they are available on our website. So that's for later, if you advance to next round. Also, if you do, applicants who progress to the next round must must have 2 recommendations submitted to TCG on their behalf. So the recommenders info that we got from you in the first round, we will contact them directly. The recommenders should be familiar with your work and must be available to submit their recommendations directly to TCG during the time period. And lastly, support from an academic advisor. So you would also be required to identify an academic advisor at your college or university or training program who is in support of your proposed scholarship activities and who can support you in balancing your scholarship activities and required curriculum at your school. The academic advisor should be knowledgeable and actively involved in your development trajectory as a costume designer. So this should be someone in your department who work with you directly, or maybe who even teaches you costume design rather than an administrative academic advisor who may not know as hands-on as your teacher in your department about your work. The academic advisor will not need to submit a recommendation. So they're different from recommenders. They will just only need to confirm their support for your proposed scholarship activities. And TCG, again, will provide a portal for academic advisors directly to them. And please note that while an advisor can also act as a recommender, like they can double, TCG advises choosing different people for each role, as having multiple voices can offer a broader range of perspectives to highlight your strengths. All right, so thank you so much for listening through this, and we hope this has been helpful for you. If you have any question, feel free to email me at the email on the screen or gongseng@tcg.org. Please apply or help us spread the news about this scholarship as well. So I am going to take down the screen, turn on my camera in 1 second, and then look at the chat. And Rachel, do you want to say hi to the folks on Zoom right now?
Hello, everyone. I didn't do a proper introduction. I'm Rachel Hipp-Flores. I'm the co-lead of research at TCG. I am calling in from the land of the Tongva tribe, colonially known as Los Angeles. And I had a journey getting here on Zoom. So happy to be here. Bug me if you need me.
Thank you, Rachel. And Rachel is the co-lead of research, right? A lot of research work that we do at TCG. So thank you, Rachel, for doing that work. Any questions for now? No questions? I'm so clear. I'm glad I'm so clear on all the things. Definitely, we encourage you to apply. And if you have any questions later on, feel free to email me. I'm happy to assist, of course. And also spread the word with your colleagues, your friends at the university. We would appreciate that as well. I'll check to see if there are any questions. Last moment, y'all. I know that some questions will pop in like later as you are going through application process, right? Okay, so I think then we are good for this call today. So thank you so much for being on this call. And again, thank you, the Estate of Willa Kim as well to support this scholarship. This is the 6th iteration of the scholarship already, and it will continue for many more years to come, like over a decade. So thank you to the Estate of Willa Kim as well. All right, again, any questions, feel free to email us later at TCG, and we hope to see you in the application pool. Have a good day.